Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to today's episode of Story Time. In our episode today, we'll be talking about don't strive to be too intelligent. Don't strive to be too intelligent. That is, you always want to outsmart people. What in common parlance people will call oversense. When you talk about outsmarting people, you mean you defeat people or you gain an advantage over them in a clever and sometimes very dishonest way. Your method is bent. You outfox people. You become a trickster, what they call stealing by tricks. It always goes with double crossing. Please, today, I just want to highlight this, that we should not strive to be too intelligent, that is, outsmarting people, trying to be oversense. I tell you what, in 1982 in Kumba, there was a baking flour deal. It involved money laundering. A guy who was importing flour in Kumba and running a bakery, they were doing money laundering because the country from where they were ordering, money safer was printed there and put in some bags. And when the shipload was coming, these bags were marked. So that when they were clearing, they knew which bags they were clearing with currency. This man was in a group with many others, but he decided to outsmart them. One of the deals, the consignment was coming from Europe. The guy made sure that the marked bags with currency should not arrive Douala Port. It should be cleared in Lagos. He did all of this, but he didn't know that in the group somebody was monitoring him. So when the consignment left Europe, the people, partners in Europe, informed insiders that the bags marked with currency will not arrive Cameroon. They will be cleared but in Lagos. So these group members here were also alert. They were timing this guy, and the guy was making a trip to Lagos. The night he had to leave, armed robbers attacked him. And these armed robbers were, of course, organized by members of the group. And he was shot. He was very lucky he did not die. He was put in a hospital, and as a young reporter, I had an opportunity to talk to them. Look at it. That is outsmarting others. I tell you what, in Boya, there is a very, very strategic building in one part of Boya, which is said to have been owned by a conman who was killed in Mexico. What was it? A drug deal. And it happens to a lot of these drug dealers. The guy outsmarted people in Mexico and disappeared to Cameroon. He was investing the money huge. They lured him back to Mexico and killed him. I worked in a town where, in a group, there was one man, very cunning, always keeping his purse at the back pocket when they were going in their group. Whenever they were in this group and they talked about money, but who can afford to, he would always stand up and empty his two pockets to show you that he had nothing. But his purse was always behind the pocket. One unfortunate day, they met again in this group. It was a social group. And they were talking about helping one desperate person in the group. He emptied his pocket and said, look, oh, nothing. And during that period, the man left to go to the toilet and was going to a pit toilet behind. Forgot that that purse was behind there. As he got into the pit toilet and he pulled down his trousers, that purse jumped out of the pocket, pim, into the pit toilet. And the man jumped out, I die, yo. There, as you say, you die waiting. Then they talk waiting, you die. Cunning man. You think you can outsmart people? I bring you back to church. A friend told me a very amusing story. He is going for offertory. He takes 1,000 and puts in one pocket and puts 5,000 in another pocket. And he knew that to himself, the 1,000 was in his right pocket. Because he did not want to put the monies together, because one day he had made an error. He had 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, and he intended to give 500. He went and removed 5,000 and gave. So this time he thought it was better to separate the money, put them in separate pockets. Yeah, man. He is going there singing, and then he sends his hands to the pocket. He didn't know that he was sending it where there was that 5,000. He removed it, and by the time he threw it and saw it in the basket, the man shook. There is even another story, ladies and gentlemen. In the 70s, there was a very, very pretty and really sensational woman in Kumba, who was a free woman, lady. She was always top-notch in Lidoba. And she always made people know that she drank nothing less than a Heineken or a St. Pauli girl those days. So a young man one weekend who wanted to chat her started his plan right in the morning, went and saw the barman, and they decided to take, at that time, the way the stickers were put on the bottles, if it was wet, the stickers could easily be peeled off. They made a trick, and they pulled the stickers of the Heineken, and then they were putting it, Heineken bottle, and they were putting it on a bottle of Beaufort. 4. So this boy invited the woman to the club. And he said, "Oh, Mado, I'm not saying that only Heineken declare." He said, "I need that, no." He said, "Oh, barman, come, bring me Heineken." The barman, to see he was an accomplice, he came and he took his hands and covered the cover and opened. But the label was showing Heineken. Oh, they served the lady in the glass. The woman just drank the tea. Said, "That's what Heineken it tastes." She drank 4 bottles of Beaufort. She thought she was taking Heineken. Look at. These are the examples I'm giving you. You think you are too intelligent. There are very serious consequences. Number 1, I tell you, they damage relationships. Because when you outsmart a friend, the person feels humiliated and sometimes feels inferior because you use some dirty tricks and outsmarted the person. When you outsmart somebody, it brings a feeling of resentment and bitterness. Of course, it could lead to very, very serious consequences. There are some of these resentment and bitterness that could even end up in death. Have you not heard stories of many people who have been in deals? They go right to their homes and kill them. And even the money which was involved in the deal, they touched nothing. I will talk about opportunity cost in this case. The time that you are using for femania, for conmanism and all the like, is time that you would have used for more rewarding things in life. Oh yes. Sometimes when you are doing all of those things, it gives you a feeling of superiority because you are passing around town, you have the latest car, you have the latest this, you have the latest that. No. Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm here today to share with you is that we should avoid striving to be too intelligent. Before I go, remember the old saying, Cunning man die, Cunning man bury. I love you all. Keep watching Story Time, and the stories will flow.